Ah, haha, there you are. Okay. Well, it seems that YouTube doesn't like me because it shows up here that I'm still waiting to log in and waiting to start the show.
Oh,
Um,
well, I can see us really good, Mike. It's saying that there's 4 watching, so
uh,
thank you everybody who
yeah,
is.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah. I mean, just to give you an update, I did a lot of research again last week about getting off this platform. Vimeo looks like an option.
Yeah.
I guess it's the lesser of the evil. But the trouble is, none of my software that I do this show with is comparable
Yeah.
with Vimeo. So I'm
Go
back to
me.
square one again. But,
Well,
we just keep going, see what
I
happens.
haven't got any software, Mike. Well, I've got Skype and Zoom, and I've got an editing suite that I do my videos through. But I went into Video Live the other day because I want to do one there, and they said, "Oh, which software system do
Yeah.
you want to use?" And I was thinking, what? Because I'm not techie at all,
No, no,
So
no,
thank
no.
God I'm a
Yeah,
psychic,
yeah,
you know. Thank God I'm a psychic.
yeah.
So, guys, before we go out tonight, I've got to let you know while we've got a few watching. It actually is Mike's birthday today.
Oh,
Dun, 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 dun.
ta-da!
And I suggested that today I give out the birthday presents.
Dun, dun,
So,
dun.
my new book is now out. It's called Ghosts, The Psychology of Why They Stay. It's not a scary book, but it does have real ghost stories and real ghost photos in there. So tonight at some point I will be giving away free books of copies of my books as email PDFs, guys. So there you go. It's Mike's birthday, but you get the prezzies
There you go.
tonight. How's that?
How bad a deal is that? Oh, you got the book
And
there.
wait,
Yeah.
hang on and wait, there's more. I'm also going to do live readings. If somebody has a question,
Yeah.
please comment in the
Yeah.
links and ask your questions. And if we get time tonight, I will go through some of the questions and answer them for you because my girl is always here. Hello.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So she's on board always. So if you do have a question, I did a live the other night, Mike, in Dr. Linda Craver Paranormal. It's on Facebook. I'll share the link if anybody wants to go and join there because that's where I do my lives.
Yeah.
But I did a live in there, and there was a lady. She said, "Should I buy the puppy?" Instantly, I said, "It's got long, floppy ears, and it's got brown and white fur." She actually sent me a photo of the dog that she's thinking.
Right.
It hasn't got little pointy ears. It's got the long floppy ears and it's brown and white fur.
There you
So,
go.
what a good confirmation
Yeah.
that I not only
Yeah.
saw the dog, but I also gave her good advice regarding what to do with it. I hope and pray anyway,
Yeah.
because she tells me the stuff because I'm her receiver. I receive her information. So, guys, if you do want a copy of my book, you've got to watch the show live.
Mm-hmm.
Please don't comment if you're watching this the next day, etc. I know time zones are a crud of a pain, but please know I'm going to put my email in, so I'm going to write it now, guys. My email's in, and if you do want a copy of my book or to have a discussion about anything, there you go. I've just commented my email, so we'll see what happens tonight, guys, okay? Yay! So if you do have a psychic question, please ask, because today Mike's birthday, but you get the prezzies.
That's it.
Yes.
It's a win-win for everyone. Do you just want to?
I love win-win. I love win-wins. Sorry, Mike?
Do you want to flash up a copy of your book or later?
Well, I'm not actually doing it as a hard copy because I'll show you my other book, which is The 5 Years of Heaven. This is my other book. This is 369 pages.
Yeah.
And on Lulu, because of the size of it, it has to be about $60 to buy it because of, I only make a few dollars off that. So this book that I've got now is 200 pages. So if you can imagine a book that thick, when I put it through, it was about $50 to buy it because of printing. And then you've got postage on top of that. Yeah. So it's still about $65 to $75 to buy it.
Yeah.
I would much prefer people to buy the PDF, cheaply, which is only about $25 wherever you live.
Yeah.
And then you can take it to a place to print it, and it's only about $8 to $10. So you're saving a lot of money because, hello, everyone's broke, everyone can't afford it. So why would I want people to buy the hard copy book? So I'm giving it away as PDFs that people can then go and print for themselves if they want to.
Yeah.
So I think that's a fair deal, Mike. You know.
Yeah.
Saving people money. That's what I'm all about. I don't do this for the money.
No.
You know. Yeah.
Oh God, we've got better things to do if we want to make money. I
absolutely love. So I'm just trying to get my head in line with yours on
Right.
YouTube, so we're both in line.
Yeah.
So people don't look at me and look at you.
Yeah. I look up to you, Linda.
It's all good.
Yeah.
We're sort of there now.
Yeah.
We're sort of getting there now. We're
Yeah.
both in line
Yeah.
now. Oh, hang on. Oh, now I've got to do it. Hey, it's all good, darling.
Yeah.
Hey. Yeah.
So listen.
Guys.
Well.
Yeah. So if you do have a psychic question.
Yeah.
Okay. We've already got one,
Yeah.
Mike. So do you mind if I go there first?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alexandra K. Hello, because she's saying hello. So hello. What can I do to help health of my mother? Oh, okay. So Alexandra K. The first thing that I'm getting is lower abdominal pain. Your mum's got to change her diet. That's where I'm going to go. She's got to change. Oh, she's also got some indigestion problems that I'm seeing too. Yeah, interesting that. She's also probably got some, I'm seeing also nerve damage down her arms. So I don't know what that's about, darling. But if you want, I've got my email there in the comments. Please email me. I'd love to know how accurate I am, obviously. But I'm seeing that your mum really does need, first of all, she needs to change her diet. Okay? There's some things that she's eating that are not helping her at this point. Okay? So I hope that sort of helps you there. Okay?
Yeah.
So there we go.
You know,
okay?
I got a whole list of things that were coming through there. Boom, 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 boom. Just like a machine, it was coming through. And
what were you getting?
It's actually quite synchronistic that this question comes up, as I've got a few health issues myself at the moment with high blood pressure. But just to put my sort of two penn'orth in here, I just feel that what I'm given is not to try not to push what you feel is right for her onto her, because I get this feeling of resistance, and I think your mother is not keen on being told what to do a lot of the time.
She's very adamant.
Yeah.
Okay, your mum's very adamant.
Yeah.
You know, people can tell her what to do, but at the end of the day, she's going to do what she likes anyway. Okay.
Yeah.
So.
So it is for me. It's what I sense is really more just giving her a little bit more support. And I was also just told there she needs to drink a lot more fluid, a lot more fluid, and of course a change of help her to change her outlook would go down very well. But I don't sense too much drastic changes is required.
I'm not seeing too many drastic things with her either, darling.
No.
You know.
No.
Yeah.
Super.
Wow. You know, my next book, I was going to do my spirit guide book, Mike, but I think I'm going to do Heal to Success and rehash it, because it's going to be called How We Sabotage Ourselves.
Yeah.
Sorry. That was no. Things move around in this house, and a big, huge box near my desk just moved by itself.
Yeah.
I thought it was the cat.
It was Schrodinger's cat. Have a look in
I don't even. You would have been able to hear that on the microphone.
Yeah.
Okay, that was loud.
Yeah.
This whole thing just moved next to my desk. So let me just go back to So it's going to be called How We Sabotage Ourselves. Chemicals that we put into our bodies. So I've got a big long chapter there of all the things that we do that people don't know underarm deodorants. You should never, ever put on an underarm deodorant within an hour of shaving your armpits. This is girls. Guys shave their armpits as well. But we should never, ever put chemicals in there because it gives us breast cancer.
Yeah.
So people don't know this type of stuff. And, it's all these chemicals that are going into our body. So I'm just looking at all these boxes near my desk because they've just been moving around. People don't realise the chemicals. We have these, they're air fresheners that you put on the wall and they blow out all these fresh flower smells. It's not fresh flowers.
No.
It's chemical. And then we inhale it while we're asleep.
Yeah.
So it explains all that, plus all the way that we self-sabotage, like the mirror effect and going back over old habits and routines. So it's actually a really good book for people who really do want to self-assess their lives, changing things that we've done in our lives. Not sure about the guy part. Mimi Bergerac just said, yes, I know.
Wah.
Yeah. Wah, wah, wah. Anyway, it's all good. So we should maybe get into a video.
Yeah.
Because we only go for an hour now, Mike. So we better get into a video.
Well, let's see what Katerina has to say with the news. Here we go. Let's roll this. It's quite infectious. I think I'm going to do a little experiment on see. I'm going to call people with this music in the background and see how many people dance to it as they go along. So
could put it all over Instagram. Make
Katerina,
it the Instagram challenge of the week. Yes.
What's going on this week? What's been happening? What stories you got for us this week?
Well, one is kind of a touch-up on one that we did, I believe it was back in February, on the Georgia Guidestones. So I noticed that here, at least in New York and maybe the East, they were really a obscure topic. If you said to somebody about the Georgia Guidestones, they'd kind of look at you funny, like, what is that? What are you talking about?
Yeah.
So after explaining the whole thing, they'd still go, oh, wow, that's odd. But there was a woman who ran on the platform. She was, I believe, a local governor or senator. She was running for office in Georgia. And she was running on the platform that they should be demolished. And John Oliver of Last Week Tonight on HBO even did a whole little web special on it. It was very funny. And not 2 weeks later, circa that time frame, a fourth night.
Who would have guessed?
They went down. Now, I find the timing odd, why after a light has been shed on it did they go down so quickly? And why was there no real investigation? They said it was an explosion. They said it was lightning. There was conflicting reports. Everybody did hear a huge boom they heard, but there was no real explanation as to how they went down.
Yeah, well, it's all shrouded in mystery, the Georgia Guidestones, and it's actually in Europe. It's probably more well known than in the States. There, it's certainly there for nefarious means, in my opinion. And one person interpreted this as that they actually knocked it down as it was job done and it was no longer needed.
Ooh, chilling.
Yeah, so
chilling.
We'll see how that plays out. In the meantime, what's old Frankenstein's Castle been up to?
So Frankenstein's Castle, it's very interesting. This has kind of a tie-in. We spoke about also how Vlad the Impaler was the inspiration for Bram Stoker's Dracula, and he's also, Prince Charles is his descendant. But what's interesting with the Frankenstein twist is that a lot of people attribute Mary Shelley's inspiration to a Lord Byron poem. And it seems that that might not be the case. There was a man named John Dipple that was an alchemist who was born in the Frankenstein castle, and he was known for doing all sorts of things like experiments on cadavers that were exhumed, and he would try to transfer the soul of one person to the soul of another, did lots of experiments on animals too, invented something called the dimple oil, which was said to be some kind of life elixir.
Maybe he's the forerunner to adrenochrome. This not the sort of guy you want to bring home to your mother, Katerina.
No. She would not have that. I would not have that.
I don't think so.
Yeah. Very spooky character. But yes, they say that he might in fact have been the real inspiration for the story we all know as Frankenstein. Means stronghold on freedom in Germany, I believe.
So, our next topic, Elizabeth of Aragon, I believe.
Yes, from the spooky to the saintly. We have, yes, a lady who is actually a saint because she married a man named King Dennis.
Sure.
And there was a famine in their land in Spain, and she, felt very bad about this, and she wanted to feed the hungry. So one winter's day, she walked down to town, and for fear of being caught by her husband, she'd hide the loaves of bread in her dress. And sure enough, her husband stopped her and said, well, what do you have hidden in your cloak there in your dress? And she said, oh, nothing. I'm just bringing flowers to the townspeople. Now, mind you, it's winter, So she said, oh, they're just roses. They're just flowers. So the husband demanded to see them. And lo and behold, the bread turned into roses.
Wow.
So, yeah, so she was turned into a saint, and you could go see her today. What's very interesting about her is she's uncorrupted. She's in a tomb which she herself commissioned. It's a glass tomb, and her hand is visible, and it's left intact since over 700 years now. And you could go there, and on special occasions, they'll let, normal people in. Usually it's reserved for royalty. But you could lay your head on her hand and see into her tomb and see her whole body is still intact. Wow. She's also been accredited with over 30 miracle healings. And also, she is the great niece of a Saint Elizabeth of Hungary. So actually a family who has saints in their bloodline. Wow. So pretty amazing person.
Yeah, I mean, I wonder why it is actually that you have to, and I don't mean this sarcastically, but why you have to be dead before you can do miracle healings. I don't know if it's just our own restriction of our understanding, our own inability to believe that we can do this kind of stuff. But it's also interesting that her body isn't corrupt, and I've heard this about many, many saints.
Yes.
That their body, there was one famous one, a very, very young girl, and I can't remember her name. But after 10 years or so, for some reason, they had to exhume the body, but it was as perfect as the day that they buried her. So maybe that's something worth investigating. But good old Catherine of Aragon there.
Elizabeth.
So, Elizabeth of Aragon. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not really one for royalty anyway, so I'm not surprised that I messed that up. Okay, Katerina, thank you for your time today. It's Saturday afternoon when we're recording this for you in the big city. Are you going into the Big Apple today, or is that still taboo? You can't go in there.
It's not taboo, but I'm just gonna be writing this weekend.
Yeah, super. So until
Yeah.
next week, Katerina, what do we need to do?
Stay curious, my friend.
Stay curious, and that we will. Thanks, Katerina. See you next week. Bye-bye. Yeah. Well, one saint that absolutely they can't keep intact is Jeanne d'Arc, of course. They obviously sent her remains to a watery grave, all the ashes. But actually, and I'll be putting up my Jeanne d'Arc spiritual report later today, so you'll be able to see that. I just want to answer Mimi Bergerac's question about water, because in that report there's something quite interesting about water. I think it was Mimi that said this about water.
Yes, it was.
But
It was
water, we were told, actually has been for quite a while playing an important part of this. With telling us information, and this began with Dr. Emoto with messages from water, and at the end of the spiritual report there's going to be a YouTube, I put the YouTube video up of someone called Veda Austin, and what she was doing is she was actually talking to the water, asking it a question, freezing it, putting it in the fridge, coming back with a micro lens. The water gave her the answer. And they also told me in the report the other day that a lot of these adverse weather conditions are not totally to do with HAARP. They are retaliating with HAARP, but the higher realms are now infusing the world with water and messages for those that have the eyes and ears to see the message, that because water is the one thing that can actually turn this around, because it can destroy the technology.
Wow, that makes sense, Mike. It really does.
Yeah, so water is going to play a big part in this, and so if you are in the lack of water in the area you need, you will start to see water, and infused in that water will be messages, and also in the snow. So yeah, so that's something you can actually look forward to, but they do retaliate with HAARP. So it's a bit of a mishmash. But the other question there, Linda, from Tracy.
Yes.
Thanks for the birthday wishes, by the way.
Yeah, I'm just looking at, will I see a sea change for work soon? Tracy, I am getting told, batten the hatches. That's my message for you, Tracy. Hunker down. Don't move just yet, okay? Wait until next year, darling girl. Save some money, get yourself more in order, and then it will happen for you.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Don't rush it. Don't rush it, Tracy. No. Okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting there for you, honey girl. You know, there's too many things right now on the world that are possible changes.
Yeah.
The world right now is so unpredictable. I wouldn't like you to go somewhere new and then everything sort of turn south or pear-shaped for you.
Yeah.
So it's best to stay where you are. Oh, here's one for you. The grass is not always greener on the other side.
No.
Okay? So just remember that one too.
Yeah.
Now, guys, I'm trying to give away free copies of my book. So if there's anyone out there, all you got to do is comment your email address. I have commented if you want a free copy. Amanda, if you're still out there and you want a free copy of my book, please just comment your email, because I've got my email already open. So while we're doing the next video, I can quickly shoot over some free copies of my new book. It's $25 on Lulu. Yeah, if you want a copy of my book, I'm happy to give them away tonight, okay? Yeah, it's Mike's birthday, but you guys are getting the presents. So keep your questions coming, guys. That's very interesting what you just said about water, Mike. Oh, that's gorgeous. It makes me have some hope that they really are helping us.
Oh, they're helping us beyond our understanding.
Yes, they know. And, I was saying to someone just the other day that the whole world has been in such a negative karmic situation for the past 2 years. It's time now for the universe to rebalance that. The karmic balance is now going more in our favor. The ones in charge. You too, Mimi. Yes, I'm glad that you like my book. But those in charge, they're scurrying, Mike. They really are. There are so many now in authority that have realised they've made some big mistakes. They really are.
Well, Jean actually said yesterday that we've reached tipping point now. So
yes.
They'll have that Jeanne d'Arc prophecy up later on today. But Linda, before we do the first our little ghost thing, I just want to add something to what you said about Tracy, because what was given is that opportunity will come and continue to come because you have sufficiently changed your awareness to allow it to happen now.
Of course it will, but just
don't worry, you're
down
not going to
at
miss
this point.
opportunities. There's going to be many.
You're not going to miss any. Exactly. You're not going to miss the opportunity, Tracy, but just don't expect it now. Okay? Just be patient. Use this time wisely. Because it is coming. There's going to be changes. Okay? Probably January, February next year for you. That's where I'm seeing it. Okay. No, that's only a couple of months away, really, when you look at it.
Yeah, it's not far.
It's not far. Okay, let's go and have a look at a ghost video,
Let's have
Mike.
a look at a couple of ghosty videos and see what the hell's going on in Barnsley, Yorkshire, I think it is.
Back in 2017, some eerie footage captured in an antique store started freaking viewers out. In July of that year, the owner of the Barnsley Antique Centre in South Yorkshire, England, was confused when he opened his store in the morning. Daniel Parker discovered an old Bambi rocking horse was out of place, toppled over on the floor. The 45-year-old quickly looked at the CCTV footage from the night before to see what had happened. He was shocked at what he saw. Take a look. As you can see, the rocking horse, which dates back to the 1960s, begins to move. It rocks back and forth, then eventually flies off the shelf. Parker, who's a self-professed skeptic, said it was completely bizarre and that he struggled to explain what had happened. He also admits that in the 2 years of owning the store, hundreds of unexplained events had happened in the building. After showing the footage to several customers, they suggested that it might be the ghosts of little children playing with the rocking horse. Despite all that's happened, the father of two still remains skeptical and always looks for a logical explanation for the bizarre happenings around his store. In 2017, a young couple caught some eerie footage of a figure walking through a palace that no one seems to be able to explain. Danielle Hyde and Savannah Brown were visiting the historical Tryon Palace in North Carolina when one of their Snapchats captured something mysterious. Take a look. Watching that again, slowed down, you can see a woman wearing a white dress passing through an adjacent room. Her attire doesn't seem to match the current time period at all, and she looks somewhat transparent. The couple believe it could be the spirit of a woman who's said to have died in a fire that ripped through the palace in 1798.
Out there. So, what do you think here, Linda? I think they seem to be both pretty genuine.
I totally agree with you.
Yeah.
That rocking horse, you can tell that it's been there for quite a while.
Yeah.
It's not just like someone put it down there and it's just off balance and fallen. You know, it's nighttime. There's no lights on. It's been there for a while.
Yeah.
So whatever started rocking it obviously wanted to play with it. So I like the fact that it could be children.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know, I really agree with that one.
Yeah.
The second one, I saw the woman straight away because as the camera was turning around, I actually thought ghosts never appear right where the cameras are unless you get the one like me at Toowong.
Right.
Whereas right in front of my camera. But, you know, they love walking through doorways because they're inquisitive about what's going on, but they just stay in the background.
Yeah.
So that woman in white, I slowed it down. I watched it a few times. And when she first appears, you can actually see that she's see-through.
Uh-huh.
Boom.
Yeah.
You know, because you've got that guy in frame as well standing near the camera, if they were going to set this up as a fake forgery, they probably would not have had him in the shot as a distraction.
Yeah.
Okay? So I really do like that second one.
Yeah.
You know, that's really good because when I slowed it down, as she walks into frame, she is see-through. So she's materializing.
Right.
Brilliant capture. I love it. It gave me the goosebumps, that one. Yeah. And you can actually even see her hat. You know, she's got the white hat on.
Right.
You know, but that they used to, I don't know what they were called, those headdresses that they used to wear.
Yeah.
So I love it. It's good.
Yeah.
Beautiful
Well, you know, I just
footage.
want to comment on the first one because when I first was training and I was doing circle, and it was actually a table tipping circle, and we had a Christmas celebration for the kiddies, and the idea was to bring them into the light, those that wanted to go. So we did everything, and we had balloons and chocolate and everything. So we took a break and we all went in the kitchen, and there was no one in the front room where we was doing the circle. And I don't know how they did it. The balloons went pop, 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 pop. And the chocolate that we left there, when we opened it to taste it, there was nothing. They sucked all the life out of it. It was just like eating cardboard.
Yeah.
So
Epitome energy.
I can quite understand the rocking horse syndrome there. That's why I brought that up. So, okay.
Yeah.
Well,
beautiful.
Let's.
Well, I'll just go there, Mike. We've got a few more viewers watching us now.
Okay.
So, guys, please know tonight it's Mike's birthday, but I'm giving out presents tonight to you. So if you do want a new copy of my book about ghosts, The Psychology Why They Stay, real ghost photos, real ghost stories, all I ask is that you comment your email address. So then I can email you a PDF copy of my new book, which is now on Lulu for about $25. Okay? We're also answering psychic questions. So if you do have a question that you want us to answer, please comment and we'll see if we get time to answer them. Okay?
Yeah.
All righty. So, darling, where are we going over to next? Time slip?
Time slip.
Yeah.
A bit of a weird one, this, because what we're told about, you know, if you see yourself in the past or in the future, you don't touch yourself, otherwise you both blow up.
This is Back to the Future type stuff, isn't it? When Marty goes to the future and his girlfriend sees herself.
Yeah. So well, let's have a look at this one. Quite an interesting one, actually. Let's see what happens here.
Chris Jensen Roma. Chris posted on his website an account of a strange experience he had as a teenager when he was with a school friend between classes. He saw a group of children in the uniform of his middle school, St. James, near the west front of St. Edmundsbury Cathedral. Among them, he saw his younger self. Then very soon, he began to feel extremely ill, sick, dizzy, and a severe headache, so had to be sent home. Much later, he decided that he must have experienced some kind of hallucination caused by an attack of migraine. But it now seemed more likely that he really did see his younger self in a typical time slip, and afterwards suffered the same symptoms that others have reported after an encounter with the mysterious energy source. Other reports of possible time slips have been reported from the Blackthorpe area of Rougham and Berry Town Centre. Ghosts are often reported, and one was photographed at Rougham Airfield. The following image was filmed using a Kinect Ghost camera. Phantom monks have also been seen in Gypsy Lane. It seems that the energy source in Rougham is the Earth's natural torsion field. Russian researchers suggest that torsion waves can travel backwards and forwards in time. Energy dowsers claim that two major currents exist in the Berry area and that one passes through Bradfield St George.
Yeah, it's a bit of an area, that, Bury St Edmunds.
Oh,
Bit of a mysterious area as well. And I've been there a few times, and you can actually feel that there is, let's say, something different about that area, all around that area.
yeah.
But yeah, how creepy is that?
Well, there's a lot of creepy areas around the whole world, whether it's ley lines, magnetic shifts, or something is going on,
Yeah.
But these, I do think that these areas do pulse,
Yeah.
like a magnetic or vibrational pulse.
Yeah.
So they have their moments, just like earthquakes. Earthquakes just aren't constant. They slow down and then they pulse again.
Yeah.
So they do have their moments or their times when it does go.
Yeah.
If you're lucky enough to be there at the time when it pulses, that's where we get all these time slips and other really crazy stuff happening.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really weird.
Yeah.
I've just been.
So
Yeah,
I was going to
keep
say,
going.
and of course, as everything speeds up, and we're now experiencing dimensions intermingling a lot more.
Yeah.
I'm sure CERN has got something to
Well,
do with it. Ascension has got something to do with it.
just this day, they're trying to work. Just this week on the news that they advertise that they're trying to work out why we just had our shortest day ever. Time, it's slow. It's actually speeding up, so the day was shorter.
Yeah.
So the 24 hours was, it's speeding up.
Yeah.
So the day was shorter because it works in reverse. So it's really weird just how they can't understand it. Well, I can give them some theories. Is it HAARP? Is it all the mining that they're doing? You can't take everything out from the middle of the earth and expect it just to still have the same magnetic pull. Is it CERN? Is it the aliens? There's a lot of theories out there, Mike.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, with
I'm sure.
with the question of time, somebody yesterday asked Jean quite a bizarre question, really. Can you see a million years into the future? And she said no. And the person said no. And she said no, and it come through. It's obvious because she is in a time that always was, is, and will be, and sees
will
everything
be.
simultaneously at the
Yes.
same time. So in her eyes, 1 year, a million years makes no difference. And
That's right,
remember,
because
this
it's
is a
all
very
now.
highly evolved life form now,
Yes.
and can do that type of thing. So there you are. So that's the other thing. If ever you ask the table questions, you must be absolutely specific about the question you ask, because they will answer specifically.
Yes.
Anyway.
Yep, that's right. So if anyone does want to have a psychic question asked tonight, please comment away.
Yep.
Okay.
Comment,
it's all good.
Comment
Alrighty. So now where are we going?
Elizabeth.
Mike, we're going Elizabeth. Okay.
My wife.
Yeah, this is Mike's wife, guys, if you've never seen her before. Lovely, lovely, lovely woman. So let's go and have a hear of what she has to say.
There we go. Here we are.
I descend from a long line of women who believe that living without fear is a natural thing. As a child, I believed everything my grandma said. She also said that boredom doesn't exist, that we create it. She also said that I never ever need to fear anything. And if the biggest demon and the most schreckliche monster is standing before me, I need only say, "Get thee behind me, Satan." And that's enough. So, of course, when I went into adolescence, I was very curious about everything. I wanted to try the Ouija board and all kinds of little esoteric games and all of that kind of thing. And I was involved in these energies that I certainly didn't know how to control or master in any way. One night in the family home, and I was 14 years old, I had my own bedroom. My sister was next door in her bedroom, and we were all sleeping in the family home. And I felt a dark, dark presence starting to take over everything in me inside. And it grew and grew and grew. And I felt full panic that I needed to fight this so it wouldn't completely take me over. I did not sleep until a certain point, I guess, because I did wake up at some point. I fought the whole night. I screamed. I sweat all over the bed. My sheets were completely twisted up. When I woke up in the morning, no one in my family had heard any screaming whatsoever and were not disturbed from their sleep at all. My bed was indeed a complete mess, but no one even knew what happened that night. Later in life, I was already an adult and a professional singer and in Europe, and a friend of mine was with me in the evening in an apartment. We were sitting having tea, and she's a shaman. And she looked at me, and she saw a big reptilian green face coming out of mine. She was surprised and actually rather shocked. There was talk in those years that I needed to go through an exorcism, and which I never did, and things like that. But also, this same shaman, who was my dear friend, was sharing a room with me in Austria, where we were singing a concert together. And she remembered that the Gräfin, the countess, who owned the castle where we were staying, talked about another castle close by, where there was the Black Lady, and everyone was afraid. Apparently, in the night, I said to my friend, "I'll take care of her." And I don't remember saying that. So there was lots of fear around what is it in me, and so on. I've also been told that I'm what they call a walk-in, or had a soul change, or whatever. Later years, I met with someone else who said that probably in that experience came something that made me stronger for my own protection. And that is now what I believe.
Yeah, she is a very
Wow.
strong lady, and she did actually clear that struggle in the night.
Yeah.
You've had that experience, I've had that experience, and the key to it is no fear. The moment you say no fear, it tends to go away. I had a friend,
Yes.
still have a friend, actually lives in Mexico, and she kept having this Matt Damon, as you call it, visiting her every night and saying, "I'm going to take your soul, I'm going to take your soul." In the end, she was fighting and fighting. In the end, she said, "Oh, do what you want. I don't care anymore." The moment she said that and surrendered and let go, whoom, disappeared. Well, before it disappeared, said, "I'm coming back for you." Never came back at all.
Yeah. just to try and really
yeah.
scare us. Oh, you're going to come back.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. You know, Mike, even that night that I had that guy standing next to my bed and he had the big knife
Yeah.
and he was cutting the sheets,
Yeah.
and I've got photos
Yeah.
of the sheets that he
Yeah,
tore.
I've seen them. Yeah.
I was not scared that night of him. Yeah, even when he was cutting up around my head, I was just lying there thinking, geez, I hope he doesn't miss.
Yeah.
You know?
Have you quite finished? I want to get some sleep.
Yeah, because as soon as he finished, I actually did go to sleep.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah, but Nikki, you know, Mike's wife, Elizabeth, she is gorgeous. But there is something in there that I do want to discuss, Mike, because I've seen this many times during my research, etc. When they come and interact with us, you know, it could be bad or good experience, right? Positive or negative. But when they interact with one person, all the other people in the house, including pets, all go to sleep and they don't wake up during that event.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know if it was on the show or something else that I've seen just recently, but there was a story where a lady was talking about her cat never sleeps. And this night when she had this like invasion happen, the cat slept soundly on the bed next to her for the whole thing.
Right.
So, yeah, Elizabeth was saying how others in the house
Yeah.
were asleep. They didn't hear a scream
Yeah.
because they go into like this spell or a trance
Yeah. Yeah.
where they are totally oblivious to what's going on in the house. You know, so I have heard that quite a lot. So for Elizabeth to say that as well, yeah, that adds substance that her story is real.
Yeah.
You know, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay.
I just want to go there. Amanda Murphy,
Yeah.
how's my dad doing? Amanda, I'm actually seeing that your dad's a little bit on the worried side. He has got medical problems, yes, and I won't deny that. But please know, the more that he concentrates on those, the more he's going to make himself sick. Okay?
Yeah.
He's a little bit of a worrier, whether he's admitting it or not. So the more he just says to himself, it's going to be all right, everything's okay, you know, do the daily affirmations with him. You know, it's funny, I've just done a daily affirmation video today. So the more he just says, oh, yeah, it's all right, I'm fine,
Yeah.
you know, I'm going to be okay, because he is a little bit on the worried side, okay?
Yeah.
But just keep letting him know he's going well,
Yeah.
okay? Because our thoughts do create our reality,
Yeah.
okay?
And
So I'd hate him to, you know, really make himself worse than what he is. What are you getting, Mike?
well, I was getting that he.
He's passed over, she just said. Amanda.
Yeah.
Oh, how's my dad? Okay.
Well,
So,
the information I get was, and exactly tell you as I got it, he's not telling you the whole truth. So let's put that he probably didn't tell you the whole truth. That's
probably what I'm getting too,
Yeah.
about him worrying about stuff.
yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, he had some unresolved things, okay, before he passed. Darling, I've got to reiterate, once we pass over, there is absolutely nothing to worry about, okay? Don't worry about how he is, because 98% of people do go to heaven, okay? There's only two other options. One, we stay as a ghost, and two, we go to like a hell experience.
Yeah.
But most of us do go to heaven, and we sort out all our issues in our life review. You know, if you want my book, hello, here's my book. I don't know if you've got it. Do you want a PDF of that one? I talk about the life review in there, hell scenarios, etc. But the whole thing is, if you do want a copy of that, just put your email up and I'll send you a copy of it, because I'm giving away free books tonight. But the whole thing is, your dad is in such a great place. No injuries, no illnesses, no concerns, no worries, no stress. He is totally at peace. He is so content that there is absolutely nothing to worry about with him. Okay? Yeah, we go through this. I should have said that to him, or I wish I'd done that for him before he passed. So they're our issues that we have to heal. Okay, and I'm just speaking generalized for everybody here, not just specifically for you, okay? But we all go through those emotions when someone does pass. But please know, everything that was supposed to be said was said. Everything that was forgiven was forgiven, okay? He's
Yeah.
going great,
Yeah, yeah.
okay? Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I just want to say that yesterday I done a reading, and it was somebody who, let's say, passed over through self-infliction. Let's put it that way. And they wanted to know. And this guy come through, bouncing around, happy as Larry. You know, this idea that you've got to be in purgatory and remain in a depressing state if you
No.
do this kind of action doesn't exist. I guess it does if that's what you want personally, but yeah, I mean, I won't tell you the actual reading, but this part of it was he was happy as Larry, made it to the other side in the light. Whatever happened or made him go over to the light was done, finished, gone.
Yes.
Not an issue
That's
anymore.
right.
Yeah.
It's not an issue.
Yeah.
You know, we go through that life review before we go into heaven, and once we're in heaven, everything's healed.
Yeah.
Everything is resolved.
Yeah.
So it's beautiful.
Yeah.
You know, look at the story that we're about to talk about, the sister in the hospital.
Yeah.
As classic example, Mike.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
this story that we're about to do, guys, is a reincarnation story, and it is just beautiful when we realize that when we go to heaven, there is absolutely no animosity.
Yeah.
There's no judgment. There's no accusations or fear anymore. It's all gone. So now we've got Mel. Hello, Mel. I don't think we've met. Hello. Thank you so much for joining us. Has my dad got a message for me? Mel from Facebook. Oh, okay. Mel from Facebook. Okay. Mel. Okay, I'm just trying to connect with you, Mel. I'm actually not getting anything for you, Mel, but if you want to email me, I'll certainly put my email here. I'll comment now for you, Mel. If you do want to email me, can you send me over a photo of your dad, and I will, whoops, sorry, I'm just trying to get my email written down. I'll reply, okay, because I've got to get into my emails tomorrow. There's my email, and I'll certainly send you over a copy of my book too, so let me know if you want a copy of my book, Dale. I've got my new ghost book out, plus I've got my heaven book, so let me know which one you want, because I'm giving away copies of books tonight because it's Mike's birthday, but you guys are getting the presents. Okay?
Yes,
Yay,
you
I
know
love
me,
it,
Linda.
Mike. I
I'm
love
in your
giving away
admin
free
group.
stuff. Hey?
Mel is in your admin group.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
There you go.
Well, I'll tell you what, before we do this last one, I just wanted to add something to Mel here. It is true that I'm not getting much coming through, and this always tells me that when this happens, the person was a private person and would, before they would divulge information to me to give out, they want to be sure they can trust me. So this person was actually somebody that wouldn't give, what went on in the home stayed in the home, and it was pretty much a private person. But I think you'd probably need more time with this one. He looks to me very curious as to what's going on here, and finding himself here where he wouldn't normally be. That's as much as he's giving me at the moment.
Yeah.
But
talk to me privately, Mel, and I'll certainly do a reading for you, okay? Yay.
Yeah.
Yep. So there you go. That's why I wasn't getting much either, Mike, because there was nothing like just zapping me. Yeah. It's all good, Mel. So email me a photo of him, or send it to me on Facebook Messenger, Mel, and I'll certainly have a look at it for you, okay? Tomorrow morning I've got a pretty good day tomorrow where I can get through some emails, because I know I've got in a little backlog there. Okay, so we'll get into my emails tomorrow morning. Okay, so it's all good. Well, we've still got another video to look at this beautiful reincarnation story,
Dale. Meeting little sister in heaven. Beautiful.
Yes.
Okay, here we go.
My son Colton was 4 when he had a burst appendix. He was rushed to the hospital and had emergency surgery, but thankfully, he was okay. Kids say some funny things, so when he spoke about things he saw during the surgery, we didn't think much of it. It was a few months later, however, that we realized he was making some claims that we couldn't ignore. In the car one day, Colton asked me,
"Did you have a grandpa named Pop?"
I said yes, and that he died when I was about Colton's age.
"He's really nice."
I nearly veered off the road. It's a crazy moment when your son uses present tense, referring to someone who had died many years before they were born. Colton said he had met Pop in heaven. When we got home, I showed Colton the last picture of Pop I had. He was 62, with white hair and glasses. Colton shook his head. He didn't recognize him.
"Dad, nobody's old in heaven, and nobody wears glasses."
I had my mom send a younger photo of Pop when he was 29, standing next to 3 people, including Colton's great-grandmother, who was still alive. He didn't recognize anyone else, but immediately he said,
"Hey, how did you get a picture of Pop?"
This was definitely unusual, and Colton gave us another surprise later that October.
"Mum, I have 2 sisters."
"No, you have one sister, Cassie."
My wife Sonia replied,
"Are you thinking of your cousin Tracy?"
"No, I have 2 sisters. You had a baby die in your tummy, didn't you?"
Time stopped in that moment.
"Honey, who told you that?"
"She did."
We had never told Colton about Sonia's miscarriage. She became very emotional.
"It's okay, Mummy. God adopted her."
We asked him what her name was, but Colton said that we hadn't given her one. He was right about that too. We didn't even know the baby was a she.
"She said she just can't wait for you and Daddy to get to heaven."
Yeah, out of the mouths of babes, they just say
Isn't
it.
that gorgeous?
They just say
Yeah,
it as it comes.
They just throw it out there, darling.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But for him to know this stuff, I remember Tashi when she was a child.
Mm.
Her grandfather used to come to her all the time, telling her all this stuff about what he did when he was a kid. The chickens' names, that sort of stuff that she would not know. And they weren't just normal like Rosie names. These were like proper names that you just never get off the top of your head. Told Tashi all about how he used to work on the trains. How would she know all this as a 2 or 3-year-old when she didn't even know what a train was?
Yeah.
So these kids, they do have that link or that connection through energy back to their past.
Yeah.
It's absolutely beautiful that they're still connected so strongly.
Yeah.
It's a pity that we do have this conditioning from society that takes it away from us.
Yeah.
It's sad, but this kid, thank goodness, that they get these stories out because they're really worth listening to. So it gives us that hope that all this is real that we do.
Yeah. It's I think it's becoming more and more evident from what I can see that in the evolution of people, there's different groups of people, and some believe but don't really do anything about it. There are others that sit on the fence and are heading in the direction of being proactive or do nothing about it. And there are those that just don't believe or don't want to believe. Sometimes it's too painful for people because of experiences that they've had. And so they stick firmly to a point of view. If you've lost a child and you're of that view of, God, how can you do this to me? Then it's quite easy to sink into there is no God, there's no life, there's once you die, you die. So, it can be a bit of a problem. But I agree with Mimi, so great that God loves us. Yeah.
Well, everything is a learning curve. That's what we've just got to keep remembering. Everything is a learning curve, the good and the bad, and to be grateful for all the bad stuff that does happen to us as well.
Yeah.
We're all going through the bad. Hello, start bringing on the good, will you?
Yeah.
It's coming. See, I just heard it's coming.
It is coming.
Oh, so that's great.
I mean, as a final thing here, how can we really feel what love is if we haven't experienced pain, sadness, and all the rest of it?
Absolutely.
So with everything that's going on in our personal lives, if we can, after the rawness has gone, see everything as a blessing.
Absolutely.
and
You
things
know,
change
we don't,
for you.
and we, you know, as soon as we start saying thank you to even the bad stuff,
Yeah,
that graciousness, you know, we talk about the grace of God.
yeah,
That's graciousness. And to accept and to just trust that everything does ultimately happen for a reason
yeah,
is just so fulfilling at the end of the day.
yeah,
You know, it gives us that fulfillment of love. It gives us that fulfillment of contentment, joy, peace within us.
yeah,
So, pardon me, then we can go out and face our day and we can spread that to others as well.
yeah,
I'm just reading a message here from Mimi. When one struggles with an old abortion, one can give the baby a name and talk to it while
Absolutely.
it sits on the lap of God, of
Yeah,
course.
yeah,
You know, and that's the good thing about talking with Mike and myself, because we're both mediums. You know, sometimes they do tell us our names, you know, like the baby Ben. You know, he came through as a 22-year-old. His mum then told me that she did lose a boy and she called him Ben 22 years ago.
Yeah.
And then he started telling me everything she'd done in her life, you know, broken toes, tooth surgery, where she went on holidays overseas, when the year she was there, that sort of information. He was with her whole life, you know, and it makes you just want to cry because it's so good, so joyous. And it, you know, just because we can't see someone doesn't mean that they're not with us.
yeah.
You know,
I mean,
we trust, we put, you know, I actually said to someone the other day, Mike, sorry to interrupt. I said to them the other day, I said, the universe paid the biggest joke with me because I'm nearly blind. You know, here in Australia, -10 eyesight, you get a dog. My eyes are -9.
right.
And without my sight, I am so grateful that I've got bad eyesight, because when I take off my glasses and I close my eyes, I have to trust what I cannot see. And, you know, it's that beauty of the gifts that I've got, that how can I ever be ungrateful that I wear glasses? Because they want me to, every day, to remember what I do, the work I do, like with her, etc. We can't see it, you know. It's like taking off my glasses. So you know, we've got to look at all our injuries, etc. as what I turned crybaby, said Mimi, lol. You know, because it turns us into crybabies. You know, it's a blessing. It really is a blessing when we just try and work it all out. There you go.
I'd just like to finish by offering some words of comfort to people that they may find comfort in it. When parents lose a child, or for that matter, even if they have an abortion, please remember that the child almost certainly chose to have that experience, and actually you should be honoured that they chose you.
Absolutely.
You know, if we
absolutely,
we can turn that around, and not have the guilt. That a lot of it, you know, if in many ways it's like survivor's guilt. It doesn't have to be that way. My experience is children coming onto the earth plane, even for a short period, to have that experience, and that was all that they required. So, you know, it's a beautiful thing to be chosen, to be the one. Again, we go back to Pontius Pilate. Someone had to do it. Or Judas, sorry. Someone had to do it. Otherwise, the prophecy of Christ wouldn't have happened. So,
that's right. And I look at life lessons, Mike. You know, we look at the life lesson of self-sacrifice. How can we ever learn the opportunity of what we give up unless somebody else self-sacrifices their whole existence so we can learn it? You know, how do we learn appreciation unless what we appreciate is taken away? How do we learn to love unless love is taken away? There's so many lessons that we learn through these unfortunate situations, but at the end of the day, they're not unfortunate because that baby's sitting in heaven and there's no time there.
Yeah.
So it's not like they're waiting 80 years for their mother to arrive or their father or their cousin or their brother and sister.
Yeah.
It's instant because
Yeah.
there's no time there.
Yeah.
You know, it's beautiful. It really is. It's beautiful.
Okay, Linda.
Yeah.
Shall we
Yes.
say
Yep,
so long,
we have to.
farewell, Auf Wiedersehen,
Auf
goodbye,
Wiedersehen, good night.
adieu,
Adieu, adieu.
to you. And
Da, 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 da. Oh, sorry, guys.
See you
Can't
all
sing
next
like I
week.
used to. Love yous all, guys. Have a safe and wonderful week. If you do want to contact me by email, is in the comments. It's all good. I'll also put in here my link to my Facebook group because I do a live show there now where I just do psychic readings, okay, answering people's questions. So come along, subscribe to Mike's channel if you haven't already. If you do have a paranormal story, NDE, out-of-body experience,
please,
or
yeah.
you've seen an angel or something weird has gone bump in the night, please let Mike or myself know about it. Please want to come onto our show, even if it's just us reading out a piece of paper of what your story entails, if you don't want to be on camera. But please talk to us if you want to appear on the show because we are looking for real stories of the paranormal.
Super.
Okay?
Yeah.
Yep. All right, guys,
Lovely.
have a safe and wonderful week, and we'll be here next week as usual.
Yeah.
Okay?
So there we go. Grüß Gott, as they say in Austria. Absolutely. Grüß Gott. Yeah. Dankeschön. See you all next week.
Okay.
Ciao.
You too, guys.
Ciao, ciao.
Bye.